Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Carried Away Travels. In this week's video, I'm going to be sharing part 2 of my Carnival Sunshine review. This is currently the only cruise ship that leaves out of Norfolk, Virginia. We just took a trip on it in February, and in January, it got a refresh. So, laying out all the details on what you can expect when you take a cruise on the Carnival Sunshine. Now, if you haven't seen part 1, make sure you go back and watch that video and then come back here to watch part 2 and get the rest of the details. In part 1, I have a breakdown of what the rooms are like, the ship layout, dining options, service, things like that. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on the fun stuff, like the nightlife, the shows, all the fun activities you can do like mini golf and a ropes course, and all the entertainment options you'll have while aboard the Carnival Sunshine. A quick side note, if this is your first time here, I'm Carrie, and I share helpful travel tips, itineraries, gear recommendations, and more, so you can always have the perfect trip. My goal with each video is to educate you and give you all the information you need to know to decide whether a destination or a hotel or an activity is the right fit for you. So if that sounds like the kind of information you want more of on your feed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to get videos like this from me in the future. All right, let's transition into talking about all of the fun stuff. There is never a dull moment on the Carnival Sunshine. I can tell you that. There is something going on literally every second of every day from like 8 a.m. till midnight. So if you do not want to go to your room from 8 to 12, you don't have to. You will find something fun to do. So first off, let's talk about the entertainment and the nightlife. There is some sort of big show production every single night on the ship. Now, sometimes this was like a music and dance show. The performers did a fantastic job. They had awesome costumes and sets and special effects. And they had like a Latin night and an epic rock night. And those were so fun to watch. They also had a couple nights that were more of like a game show, like the Love and Marriage show. They had a couples go up on stage and they basically played like the newlywed game. They answered questions, and then in front of everyone they had to reveal if their answers matched. And then they also had like a deal or no deal show. Sometimes they would just ask for volunteers from the audience and they would have them do a quick like 60-second game, and pretty much everyone got a prize for participating too, which definitely gives you an incentive to get involved. But those musical shows were definitely the highlight of those evenings, for me at least. I thought they did a great job, and they usually had 2 showings, like a 7 and a 9 o'clock, so you had multiple options to catch the show. Again, those were just so much fun, so I would really recommend you try to hit as many of those as you can. They also have a lot of other stuff going on in the evenings, like theme parties. They had a whiteout party where they encouraged everyone to wear white, and then there was a dance party on the Lido deck. There was a Latin dance party following the Latin Nights show. Just a lot of different events going on after hours where you can mingle or dance or do whatever if that's what you want to do with your evening. They also had a lot more casual performances going on in the Sunshine Atrium. So they would have 1 or 2 musicians on one of the balconies, and they would just be playing calmer tunes. It wasn't really like a party. It was just something where you could sit down in the atrium and relax and listen to that music. Comedy shows were another big nightlife option. They had a variety of comedians come throughout the week, and they had both family-friendly and 18-plus shows. Most of the family-friendly ones happened throughout the day, and then they had some spicier comedy shows that would take place after like 7 p.m. And last but not least, they had dive-in movies just about every night. They would play 1 to 2 movies on the big screen right in the pool area. So when it was warm, when we were in the Bahamas, you could be chilling in the hot tubs or the pool, watching a movie like the new Mean Girls, 50 First Dates, Aquaman, etc. Or if it was a little colder, you could bundle up on one of the many lounge chairs and watch the movie from there as well. So that was something they had just about every night. They usually had one that was at least kid friendly, and then maybe one later that was a little more adult oriented, like It Ends With Us. But that just covers the nighttime shows and entertainment. There is so much other stuff you can enjoy, whether you're in a family group or adults only, with friends, no matter what kind of group you're traveling with, there are options for you. Something I really appreciated was that they had like a common family-friendly pool and hot tub area, and then they had a separate, very large area just for adults. And that was really nice because we weren't traveling with kids, and so we were obviously looking for some of that peace and quiet when we were up in the pool area, and it made it very easy for us to have that. So the main family-friendly area is on deck 9, and it has a pool right under that big screen I was talking about, and it has 2 small hot tubs that can probably fit about 6 people each. So they're not huge. That is the main area, and then they have quite a few normal like mesh beach chairs. Then they have the adults only area, which is a lot more elevated. They have really nice like cabana chairs, like lounge sunbeds that you can be on, and nicer lounge chairs just all together. The pool has a waterfall going into it from the Infinity Edge hot tub that's 1 deck above. So the adults only area is actually 2 areas. One's a little smaller, and then the other areas over the spa on deck 11. And there's just so many places to spread out. There's a glass wall all the way around this part of the ship, so you have these awesome panoramic views of the ocean or the port or wherever you at, and that is just such a fun place to hang out. If you're looking for a little extra relaxation, you should definitely check out the spa on deck 10. We had no intention of doing any spa treatments because they were fairly pricey, but we went to one of their massage tasters where they gave like a little 5-minute sample massage, and we were like, we need to book one of these. So we ended up booking a couples massage for an hour. It was so nice. They actually had us fill out like a little questionnaire before the massage, and each masseuse customized the massage to like pain areas or tightness, things like that. So we really had like a nice customized experience that helped us relax as much as possible. I also ended up going to a spa party later in the week where they basically gave you a free facial. Like you did it yourself, but they supplied all of the LMS products. And while you were there, they told you about all the different services that they offer. And then they gave you big discounts for booking things again. Now that was at the end of the week, and there was something I really wanted to do, and they sold out while we were in the presentation. So I would recommend booking early in the week just to make sure you get a good time slot. But I would also say you should definitely book from the different like samplings or presentations, because they're always going to give you a better deal than just walking up. Like every time they were cutting prices by like $50 to $100 and throwing in 25 extra minutes and extra services. So I would recommend you go to at least one of those little spa tasters and make your booking from there. The other side of deck 10 is where you're going to find a lot of the fun games like shuffleboard, ping pong, foosball, basketball, and my favorites, mini golf and the ropes course. Like they had some crazy things to do on this deck. So we played 1 round of mini golf. We did try to go back to get a second one, and it was too windy. So keep that in mind as you try to play, but you just walk up. They have the clubs and the balls, and you can just go through their little course. It's relatively challenging, but part of that is the fact that the ship is rocking, which adds a whole nother element to mini golf. We also absolutely loved the ropes course. This is something I wanted to go back and do again, and we just ran out of time, but this was so fun. It has been a very long time since I did a ropes course, and some of these were pretty challenging. They did have us harnessed in very safely, and there was always always at least one rope up above that you could hold onto, but we were going over like these crazy ladders and tight ropes and just all sorts of things. It was so much fun. Last but not least, there is a water park on one of the top decks of the ship. That is insane. They have an area that's more like a kid's splash pad. It's got one of those big buckets that fills up and dumps on you. And then they have 3 different slides. They're mostly enclosed, but they do have some open windows here and there as well. So especially when you're in the warmer areas of like the Bahamas, if that's where your ship is going, you should definitely pop up there at least one day, go down the slides and just enjoy those. And if you're into games, you do have a couple options with the fairly large casino and the smaller arcade. Now, Daniel and I aren't gamblers, but we did poke around the casino just to see what it was all about, and they had everything. They had slot machines, they had coin pushers, they had claw machines where you could just try to pick up stacks of bills for like $100 to $500. Like they had so many options in there. So if you're looking to just blow some money or win big, you can check out their casino. We ended up spending probably more money than we should have in the arcade, but that is something we like to do in our free time. Daniel and I really enjoy arcades, so we had a lot of fun in there. They had all sorts of games. They also had some coin pushers. They had skee ball, VR, claw machines, down the clown, like a lot of the classics that we like to play, they had in there, and they had some cute prizes as well. So we came away with a couple things that we were pretty happy with, little Legos that we actually built in our stateroom in the evenings. So we really enjoyed that as well. All right, next up, let's talk about the shopping options. Now, there is an area outside the Sunshine Atrium that is pretty much a small mall. They have a pretty nice variety of items. On one side, it's a little more designer. They have like perfumes, jewelry, and handbags. And then on the other side, they have more like souvenirs, toys, a little convenience store, things like that. Now, throughout the week, these stores run some special deals. They'll have timed parties where you can go in and enter raffles to win special prizes, or they'll have a special deal on a very specific brand or product for that time frame only. So if you're interested in some of that stuff, it would be worth your time to keep an eye on the schedule and see when those parties are. Another big thing they did was the charm bracelets, and they had a time slot just about every day for an hour where you could go and get a free charm bracelet chain, and then they had deals every day to get charms to add onto that chain. So for the first day, you could buy a pack of, I believe, 5 charms for $10, and then after that, they had a $5 charm of the day, and you can go and pick that up anytime throughout the day. You don't have to wait in the line with the charm bracelet, but I thought that was fun. It made for a relatively affordable souvenir, and that gave me a little something to look forward to every day too, finding out what the charm was and adding it to my bracelet. One other thing we really enjoyed was the onboard art gallery and the art auction. Now, I have never been to an art auction. I don't know if I will go again, probably, but it was a really cool experience to go into this art auction and see all these really different pieces. They had some from very famous painters, some from lesser known ones, and there's a very wide range of pricing. Now, during the auction, most of the pieces they sold were pretty pricey, like in the thousands, and we weren't there for that. But they did have several raffles going on throughout the event, and we actually ended up winning a free piece of artwork that we're very excited about. It is on its way to us now, so we will be hanging it in our home soon. But there was also another piece of artwork that we were very interested in during the auction, but we're not like on the spot decision makers. So when we went to pick out the free piece of art that we won, it was actually still there. It hadn't sold. And so we ended up buying that as well. So we came away from the cruise with two pieces of art that we're pretty excited about. One of them was free. And so I'm really glad we went to that because it was just a fun experience to see it all happening. And of course, we got two really unique souvenirs for our home as well. Now, we ended up taking our cruise to the Bahamas. It was a 7-day cruise. It was absolutely fantastic. We had 3 ports to Nassau, Bimini, and Freeport. Very fun. I want to go back. However, I don't think if I did it again, I would go with a cruise. We had an absolute blast on this cruise. It was fun, but Daniel and I tend to be more adventure travelers, and a cruise just doesn't fit into that for us. However, if you are more you like to relax and go to shows and you want to have like short excursions, just little bursts of outside time, this is a fantastic place. There's just so much fun stuff to do. You will never be bored. This would be fantastic with a family group or a group of friends where maybe you just kind of want to party for your whole trip. Like, really, no matter how you're traveling, there's something for you. Even if you're going as a solo traveler, they have so many mixer opportunities throughout the week. You're almost guaranteed to make some friends while you're on the ship too. So go by yourself and find your cruise crew and just have a blast. Like, I think just about anyone could have fun on this ship if that's the kind of fun you're looking for. All right, everybody, that is it from me for today. Thank you so much for coming by to watch part 2 of this Carnival Sunshine review. Again, if you haven't watched part 1, make sure you go check that out because I have some great information on like staterooms and dining experiences and things like that. Very helpful information to know before you go. You can find that in my video section under my Bahamas playlist. As always, I do have a full written blog post about this on my website at www.cochranewriting.com. I encourage you to go check that out if you want to read a little more or explore some more adventures that I've written about. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, save it, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Carried Away Travels to get more videos like this from me in the future. Thank you once again for stopping by, and I wish you many happy travels.